Hey, what's up? I'm Rekeema. Welcome to Detaileddream, where the primary focus is to expose you to the expansive world of luxury goods for yourself and your home. So today, I have another exciting new scent to discuss coming from the house of Trudon. The Tuileries scent is the most recent release from Trudon, and this conversation is long overdue. A few of you asked what my thoughts were on this scent after the Mate Saint discussion, which was another new release from Trudon this year. I will have that conversation linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet. If you're into the more higher end home fragrance, I highly recommend checking that out. Before we get into this Tuileries scent, I have to say, Trudon has been on quite a roll with these new releases. This is like the fourth one this year, right? We have the three new scents from Mate Saint and Tuileries. The Old Terre scent is new for this year as well, but I believe it's from the Trudon archive, so technically it isn't new, only back for a limited time, I assume. These new scents have me very excited to see what they release for this year's holiday collection. Maybe they'll bring back winter charms or something totally new. Who knows? Let me know your predictions in the comments. At this point, Cire Trudon can sail air in a gold-lined vessel, and I'll still want it. Now, don't get me wrong, every scent isn't perfect, but majority of them provide a very special feeling when opening the packaging, getting ready to burn that delectable scent. Most of you know by now, Madeline is my favorite candle of all time, so I am a little biased when talking about Trudon. But if I am not a fan of a scent, Trudon included, I have no problem saying so. So where does the Tuileries scent fit into the lineup? Is it just as good as other Trudon scents? This particular scent was actually created to commemorate Trudon's 380th anniversary. 380 years. I would love to just make a dedicated deep dive video into the history and legacy of Trudon from where they started to where they are now. I think it would be very insightful to see how a brand could last this long, and it would be good for anyone looking to start a home fragrance brand for themselves. I love my deep dives into brands and candles, so this would be a great discussion to have with you. And the inspiration behind each Trudon scent is quite profound as well. It gives me better understanding to why that particular scent was created. And plus, I love a good story. And to think, the Trudon brand has been around during these different periods in history, it makes the scents that much more noteworthy and interesting. So let's get into the inspiration behind the Tuileries collection. Let's go back in time during the early months of the French Revolution. We have Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI, also known as the last king of France before the fall of the monarchy during the French Revolution. During this time, Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were forced to leave Versailles for the Tuileries Palace, where they were held under house arrest until August 10, 1792. This is one of the most historical periods that's well documented in public and private archives, including the French National Archives. Shortly after the revolution, the future of the royal wax manufacturer was in jeopardy, which was under the ownership of the Trudon family at the time. They lost their status as supplier to the king, but later was ultimately granted access to stay in business to continue supplying the royal family until the last days. Y'all, we almost lost Trudon, but I'm sure we would have seen another version of Trudon home fragrance if they never gained that royal status again. Speaking hypothetically, of course. So, where does the Tuileries candle fit in with all of this talk about the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette, and Louis XVI? The blush color that you see on the frosted glass of the candle vessel and diffuser is inspired by La Gazette de la Tuileries. It's a very rare document kept at the French National Archives, which may seem like an ordinary notebook to most, but in reality, it holds the official list and real fabric samples of dresses and royal outfits worn by the sovereign. Now, let's tie this inspiration together. This rare documentation was actually created by Countess Genevieve d'Ausson. I probably butchered that name, my apologies. She was a French courtier who served as lady-in-waiting and first maid of honor to none other than Marie Antoinette. And the presentation of the unique packaging for the candles and diffuser is supposed to further evoke this rare documentation. At first glance, I thought it was velvet packaging, but after getting it in hand and reading the story behind the scent, it has the look of aged water-stained paper. It has such a unique, eye-catching look to it, especially with the deep coloring it has. And as for the fragrance of the Tuileries scent itself, it's a fragrance conceived as an homage to the rose, Marie Antoinette's favorite flower throughout her life. This gives you an idea of what to expect from the scent. The scent of rose is also one of my favorites, after jasmine, but a good rose scent is a bit difficult to accomplish in my opinion though. Either it has this extremely phenomenal pleasant aroma, or it's choking you with a strong artificial smell. What version of rose did Trudon create with the Tuileries scent? When I put this scent to my nose, I get an incredible light scent of a few different types of florals, not just rose, which is the prominent note this scent is based on, but it isn't as strong or pungent as you may be thinking it is. It's what I was honestly expecting. But what really caught me by surprise is the fruity undertone that works very well in this. It's not an extremely fruity presence, but you can tell there's this subtle, delicious fruity berry aroma that's surrounding the heart of rose. I know a few of you have this scent, so let me know your thoughts on it and if you enjoy the fruity essence paired with rose. Imagine a rose garden with subtle hints of cut open raspberries, blackcurrants, and mandarins sprinkled around the ground of the garden. The deliciously elegant scent of Tuileries is comprised of pinkberry, blackcurrant, and mandarin on the top, going into the heart notes of white flowers, raspberries, geranium, and rose, with a base of musk, patchouli, sandalwood, and vanilla. There is quite a bit going on within this scent, and while rose may be the focal point, the other notes this scent has works extremely well in my opinion. Of course, the top is where that light berry undertone is coming from, which is a great touch, but the heart notes take up a big portion of what I mostly pick up from the cold and hot throw. White florals and rose complement each other so well, or it might be my love for both of them talking. The base has strong, warm, prominent notes, but honestly, I am not noticing them too much from what I can pick up from the cold throw. And when this is burning, the base comes through a tad bit, but again, nothing too noticeable over the fruity floral essence. Now, the performance from the cold throw is on the subtle side. It isn't as strong as other rosy scents or other Trudon candles, but I can still pick up the fruity rose nuance when I'm close to it. The hot throw, of course, is where this scent wakes up with a strong hot performance. The usual hot performance from a Trudon candle. Optimal for a small to large space any time of day. This particular scent may be a little too light for a large open concept, so for a stronger scent reach, I would suggest going for one of the large sizes over the classic, which is a great thing to note for the Tuileries collection. It actually comes in all candle sizes that Trudon offer. From the petite size that's perfect for small spaces and traveling to the great size perfect for very large spaces. This scent is also offered as a diffuser as well. If you're a fan of the rosy floral scents, this is a safe option. As always, if you can get your nose on this first, I would recommend that. I would say this is an accurate representation of a soft rosy scent in my opinion, especially having a bit of that fruity nuance. It really enhanced the experience of the scent itself. I do want to mention the Rose Poivre candle from the collaboration with Giambattista Valli, which is more on the extreme side of pure rose scent. That's more of a pronounced warm rose for the true lover of rose. Tuileries is a much softer rose, like a soft, silky fabric. I would say Rose Poivre is a level 8 on a scale of 1 being an extremely light subtle rose and 10 being the most aggressive of rose scents. And with Tuileries, I would classify it as a level 5, right in the middle that's quite enjoyable for most floral scent lovers, thanks in part to the fruity essence. Overall, the Tuileries scent is a great addition to the Trudon lineup. From the story behind the scent to the packaging and vessel, very on brand for Trudon. Let me know your thoughts on this candle, and if you have it, I'm interested to see how you like it. Did the fruity undertone surprise you as much as it surprised me? I'm glad Trudon created something different than the other rose scents I've come across or have in my collection. But what else can you expect from Trudon? Yes, this was a biased conversation.